Nostalgia is one hell of a drug. I indulge in it quite a bit, which is a strange thing considering I'm really happy doing what I do for a living and making this content, and probably the happiest I've ever been despite the stresses of YouTube and content creation. But we all do it. We all pawn for the things that we enjoyed as kids, or loved in the bygone day. Rose-tinted glasses and all that. There's a reason nostalgia is such a powerful marketing tool utilised by everyone and anything to sell you shit. That's why I bring you Boomer Jund. That's right, you fucks. This is Jund, but for boomers. You all enjoyed Jund back in the day, didn't you? When it was just a fair mid-range deck that sometimes out-thought seized Splinter Twin in the metagame of Modern, but here it is again. This list is a 10-year-old list. This is a list very similar to something I found from 2012, I think it was. There is one card, literally one, not the one I'm dragging now, ignore that, that's a bad thing to do whilst saying this bit. There is one card in this deck that is the outlier. Everything in this deck was available approximately 10 years ago, give or take, maybe 9 years and a bit, but there's one card in here that wasn't, and I will explain which card that was in the gap between rounds 1 and rounds 2. But have a look at the list now. We have 3 copies of Inquisition, 3 copies of Thoughtseize, Lightning Bolt, Dark Confidant, Scavenging Ooze, Tarmogoyf, Terminate, Abrupt Decay, Dismember, Liliana of the Veil, Maelstrom Pulse, Jund Charm, Bloodbraid Elf, Huntmaster of the Fells, and in the sniper we have Surgical Extraction, Thoughtseize, Ancient Grudge, Scavenging Ooze, Thorn the Last Troll, Rakdos Charm, Fulminator Mage, Abrupt Decay, Yogari Charm, Ancient Explosives, and Kitchen Fix. Now, I will tell you that Wooded Foothills was also not legal 10 years ago, at the very beginning of this format's inception, because Wooded Foothills was an on-thought fetch and they came to us with cards. But that is not the card I'm talking about. So if you're thinking it's Wooded Foothills, it is not. That's not in the lands. There's another spoiler. But type your guesses in the comment section below and you'll find out after round 1. If you don't know what Jund is a mid-range deck that looks to play an attrition game plan where it trades with you 1 for 1. To trade 1 for 1, it plays what used to be some of the most efficient removal in the format, like Terminate and Lightning Bolt and Abrupt Decay. But then also things like Thoughtseize and Inquisition of Kozilek to look at your opponent's hand and take 1 card out of it for 1. And then you win by playing better cards off the top deck than your opponent, like Tarmogoyf, which was the big shit back in the day, or Scavenging Ooze that can grow large off the things you're ripping out of your opponent's hand. And then you have other 2-for-1s, Bloodbraid Elf, for example, being a card that could go ahead and cascade into a second spell, getting you 2 cards for the price of 1. Huntmaster of the Fells getting you value. Liliana of the Veil just got a multiple card to turn and getting you value. The idea is to get some value once you attrition 1 for 1. So we're disrupting our opponent by taking away what they've got and then hitting them with big old fucking goifs. Dark Confidant is an interesting one here because it's the main card advantage engine. There is card advantage in Liliana, there's card advantage in Huntmaster of the Fells, but this is raw dogging cards off the top of your library and taking damage whilst doing so. Most of the cards in this deck are incredibly expensive, or were incredibly expensive. Dark Confidant, Tarmogoyf, and Liliana of the Veil were like the holy fucking trinity of expensive cards back in the day in Modern. There was a point where those cards was like the expensive cards, and the fetches weren't. We're actually at a good point now where some of the fetches are quite low thanks to the recent reprintings, and I'm hoping it will stay that way as we get another reprint next year, when hopefully they focus on Modern in a post-pandemic world. But maybe I'm being fucking wishful there. So that's it. This is a 10-year-old deck. I'm going to slam it through a Modern league into modern decks with modern solutions and modern answers and modern threats. And I'm punching myself in the hand, it hurts. And I'm going to just smash them with Tarmogoyfs. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe the deck is just not good enough anymore. Maybe it will surprise us. Some points to point out here. Bloodbraid Elf was once banned. It wasn't banned initially. It got banned, then got unbanned. Deathrite Shaman would be a lovely addition to this deck, but we can't put Deathrite Shaman into the Modern leagues because it's banned. Those are 2 ban considerations. Another thing that I think is very funny is the one of Dismember. I almost cut it because it just feels so bad compared to having like access to Fatal Push, for example, or Assassin's Trophy and stuff like that. But those just aren't options here because we're playing a list with cards that are approximately 10 years old. Before we jump into the gameplay though, if you enjoy the channel and you enjoy what I put out, there are 2 ways to support me. Firstly, if you're using the channel Fireball Marketplace, use the code Kenobi at checkout, or the link in the description below to give the channel a bit of a kickback when you pick up stuff from the marketplace. And secondly, Patreon. If you sign up to Patreon for $2 a month, you get access to the Discord server, the events that we run on the Discord server. We have a hobby hangout once a week, and we also have this altar sleeve that's on screen now. This is an altar sleeve that I have commissioned an artist to create the design for as a new one each month. At the end of the month, you get a link in your emails to go ahead and get this with free shipping as well from Altar Sleeves, so you get like a memento of being on the Patreon. So yeah, why don't you click the link down below, and for $2 a month, less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get loads of shit. Discord access, events that we've started running, the altar sleeves, fucking I float about posting carvings of pumpkins with their assholes hanging out, all sorts of cool shit. Link in the description below.
Game!
We have won the die roll, so all is good in the world. We don't have any hand attack on turn 1. We can play a slow, well, a turn 2 Goyf. Not a whole lot else. I don't think I can mulligan the lands and spells, even if I do think hand attack would be good. They put into play 2 gemstone mines. What the actual fuck? This does make me think that maybe we do need a Thoughtseize here, and I'm a fucking idiot for not doing it. My guess is going to be some form of trickery or chaos cascading throws deck. Maybe it is just a hostile world for good old mid-range. Our opponent said oops because they just realised these are legendary lands. And they've exiled 2 cards. They're down to 3 cards in hand. Well, how the turns have tabled. I'm going to put LOL. That is quite funny. Come on. Our opponent plays a Breeding Pool. They're going to shock it in, I assume, and do something degenerate that we're going to hate. No, nothing. Maybe they're just going to... Maybe they're just... fuck knows. I'm just going to play a Tarmogoyf. Good old, straight up, here's a Goyfy. I thought we were going to have a counterspell there, a leak or something. I mean, no one plays Mana Leak anymore, but I've been playing the traditional standard gauntlet thing. Oh, Petty Theft. There we go. There's a more modern fucking card. Jesus Christ, Magic. They've cascaded a Shardless Agent into something. Probably Rhinos, I'd assume. Yep, into Rhinos. Okay. I'm not going to lie to you. This, like, 3 bodies for 3 mana. This is something that Jund isn't going to deal with very well at all. We'll play a Tarmogoyf. I guess once we bolt the Shardless Agent, the Goyf will be big enough to block Rhinos. So that's something. They only have 2 cards in hand. We are taking 8 here, though. Oh, we're taking more than 8, because we've got a Violent Outburst to pump the Rhinos, so we take 10. And make more Rhinos. That's a lot of fucking Rhinos. How on earth is my 10-year-old deck meant to beat this? I mean, double Jund Charm would do it, but we haven't even hit a 3rd fucking land. I guess we'll concede the game having cast a Goyf twice. Not the best start. I wish we had a 2nd Pulse on our sideboard. Fuck's sake. I'm so bad at deck construction. So we're back in it, we're on the play again, and I mean, our opponent fucking just lost everything, right? They ditched like 4 cards from their hand turn 1, and we still got absolutely fucking ruined. I'm going to keep this, though. We've got Overgrown Tomb into Thoughtseize, so we'll just take 4 damage, and hope to take their only Cascader, and we'll love life. And the other problem is we probably need to take that fucking Blood Moon, don't we? Ugh. Well, maybe we win with Goyf and Scoos through the Blood Moon. The other thing is maybe our Dark Confidant can encourage them to evoke the Fury and lose the Blood Moon that was in hand to do so. They played the Golden Tarn that we knew about. Play a Dark Confidant. Our opponent stopped to read it. I'm not even joking. I might have actually just cut that. But they stopped to read it. As if, like, no one knows what this does anymore. Once upon a time, this was a premium card. Like, half the people in my local area was always after or have just traded for 4 of these fucking things to play in Jund. And now no one even knows what it does. No one even remembers Skrillex, let alone the old Bob. Mountain from our opponent. Trigger our Dark Confidant. Yeah, we drew... No, sorry. We took damage. Fucker. We'll play a Misty. We'll go to combat and we'll get him for 2. Just going to play a Scoos here. If they cascade in some Rhinos, we can pulse it next turn. If they Blood Moon, then I guess we don't care too much. They're going to bounce the Dark Confidant back to our hand. This says they're going to Blood Moon me, honestly. There's the Blood Moon. Let's go fetching with the Misty Rainforest. We've only got a Stomping Ground. We're going to shock ourselves with the Stomping Ground, use the green, and eat a Shardless Agent, which actually shrinks our Goyfs, which is probably not what I should be doing. We drew a Thoughtseize. Which isn't great here. We're going to get to swing with our Scoos. I guess on the upside, Brazen Borrower can't actually fight these Scavenging Ooze because they can only block flyers. That was a long-winded way of saying it can't block me. Can't fight it? What the fuck am I doing? Of course it can fight if it's a fight spell. I guess they could word something like this creature can't fight X because, well, it can't fight X. Anyway, they're going to be able to play Fury next turn with double red if they play a 5th land. We drew a Bloodbraid Elf, which would be great when we draw another land, which we haven't. Eating that Shardless Agent was kind of fucking stupid, actually, wasn't it? Because if we had an edit, both our Goyfs would be 2 types bigger. And that's a lot more damage. And the 1 life that the Scoos made didn't... God, I'm fucking bad at this game. So Fury, when it ETBs, if they hit a 5th land, will kill my Scoos or one of my Goyfs. It'll grow the other Goyf, but then it's a 3/3 double striker, so it trades for another body. So it's going to be a straight up 2-for-1 for them. They play Prismari Command to make a treasure so they can play their Fury and to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. I'm sure there are boxes with the surname Fury, but I'm so not a sports ball person that I don't really understand how baseball works. Fury lands, surprise, surprise, in the words of Cilla Black. And I wonder what they'll kill here. Probably a Goyf. They discarded the Force of Negation we knew about with the Prismari commands. I mean, I actually don't know anything that's in their hand now. I do feel like a fucking time traveler over here with all these archaic pieces of tech. Like these fucking, you know, like, what's an old car called? Like an old Ford, and then our opponent's got a flying car. That's, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So they killed a Goyf and grew our other Goyf, which is nice. We drew another Goyf. We attack with both creatures. I'm willing to eat a Goyf here to kill their Fury. They're going to attack to go for our Fury. So we're going to eat this Tarmogoyf here. We'll gain a life, we'll shrink our Goyf, but we will kill the Fury, dealing 3 to our opponent, and then we can't cast any of our spells because we just have 2 mountains. Our opponent is casting nothing. I don't know if that's instant PvP interaction or their Blood Moon's fucking them as well. We drew an Inquisition of Kozilek, which is great. I'm really happy we drew that. They're going to tap down my Tarmogoyf and draw a card. And then in second main phase, we're just going to play another Tarmogoyf. What doesn't kill the Tarmogoyf makes it stronger. Come on, opponent. We all know the classic axiom. They hit a 5th land drop, so there could be another Fury, but they haven't cast it. So again, is this a Blood Moon problem? Is this a 4th land that comes into play on tap thanks to Blood Moon? This is some good shit. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Here comes a Blood Braid Elf. I was in a Blood Angel then. Blood Angel Elf? Anyone? We cascaded into Surgical Extraction, so I guess we'll go eating their Furies. That's what I'm most scared of right now. Oh, they scooped it up before we had to decide between Crashing Footfalls and Fury, or get to look through their deck at more of their sideboard tech, or what was in their hand. Clever. We are not on the play, but we got a lot of fetch lands to play around Blood Moon, namely green-black ones. Our red-green ones. Hell, I don't even know if I'm fucking playing any. Oh, I am. I did cheat a little bit there by playing Karn's fetch lands. My bad. EE is very good here for being played for 0 so that we can detonate and blow up all of the fucking rhinos. Don't forget they do have access to Force Negation though, so we need to be careful that we don't get Force Negated when we're trying to play our Engineered Explosives. We draw a Verdant, so we're going to crack it, grab a basic Swamp to play around good old Blood Moon, but also stop ourselves from taking too much damage. In their hand they have Force of Vigor, Dead and Gone, and Brazen Borrower. I think we just get rid of Brazen Borrower. I don't even know what Force of Vigor is in their deck for against us. And Dead and Gone isn't that great against our creatures, unless they're trying to get our Scoozes with it. We can't really just run out our Scooz into a Dead and Gone. We need to have mana to be able to play around Dead and Gone. So I'm going to pass the turn here. They crack a fetch line getting a forest. They crack a Scald and Tarn getting a mountain. And they crack a Misty Rainforest. I feel like there's a Blood Moon in our future. So we're going to crack our Verdant Catacombs here. Grab a forest. We'll float the mana just for good habits, but it doesn't matter too much. We're going to decay this Blood Moon to get rid of it. Back in the day, John did play Blood Moon in its sideboard, so it's not too hosed by it. We're going to fetch a Stomping Grounds here, play a Scavenging Ooze, and we're just going to eat the Brazen Borrower to get us outside of Dead and Gone. Well, to say gone. Outside of Dead range. Take that, you fucking shit. God, I hate Brazen Borrower so much. What a fucking ridiculous magic card. We drew a Tarmogoyf here. We're going to play a Verdant Catacombs and go fetch him. And we're just going to cast a Bloodbraid Elf, because Bloodbraid Elves are pretty good. Would love to hit Liliana here, but we sideboarded them all out, so it's unlikely. We hit a Dark Confidant. I'll cast that. Why not? Look at this value. How could any deck beat Bloodbraid Elf into Dark Confidant? Honestly. Now, if we attack here and they play a Cascader, they just make some Rhinos. And they just gobble up everything. So I'm going to get in with a 3-2 and not offer my Scooz to that. They're going to petty theft my Scooz anyway. Cool. And we just get them for 3? We do. They didn't Dead and Gone my Bloodbraid Elf, because I guess they want to do it to the Dark Confidant or the Scooz. There we go. They're going to dead our Dark Confidant to get rid of our card advantage engine. They're going to cast another Blood Moon that doesn't do anything. It literally does nothing here. It takes off 1 extra green pip, I guess. Actually, okay, I lied. It means that we can't cast multiple green spells this turn. So I actually did do something, which is interesting. But, I mean, sure, I guess. Let's play a Tarmogoyf here. I'm wondering if this Force of Vigor was meant to be an Endurance that's in their board. They decided the wrong card in. I get the two mixed up quite a bit, because they just look the same if you don't look close enough. They have 1 card in hand. We beat them down to 9 with our Bloodbraid Elf and pass back after playing a 5/6 Tarmogoyf. A 2-mana 5/6? What were they thinking when they printed this? I guess Force of Vigor keeps us kind of honest, in the sense that we can— What the fuck? Are you joking? Did you just shrink my Goyf? That's a 4/4. It can't even block my Goyf. I'm okay with that. But also it means that we can't run this out, is what I was getting at. because they'll just force it off. So we can't hold it out as a like rattlesnake to stop there. They're rhinos. We've got to play it reactive. In with a 4-5. They take it and go to 5. And we're just going to slam a Scoos here. Play a Shardless Agent. Cascading into... Well, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be a lot of fucking rhinos, right? There's some rhinos. Now, them being able to just block 2 of our bodies here means we can't kill them. But we can just play this for 0. Detonate it for 2. For 0, sorry, again. For 2. Costs 2 mana, but the 0. The rhinos are gone. The Goyf has grown thanks to the engineered explosives here. We can get into the red zone. They block our Scoos with the Murktide region to keep it around. And they're going to take 3 here from the Bloodbraid Elf. And then we're just going to play another Tarmogoyf. It's turning out that Tarmogoyf is the best card in our deck. I guess it was years, and it still is, because we're playing a time capsule. And they've scooped it up. There you fucking go! Boomer Jund takes its first casualty. Easy game. Looks like Tarmogoyf is still pretty good, right? It was bigger than the Murktide region. That's a point. Like, it cost less mana and was bigger. Just doesn't fly. Get fucked. A quick interlude to give you the answer to the question that I posed at the beginning of the video. What card is in this 10-year-old deck that wasn't actually around at the time? The answer is Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze first appeared in Commander 2011, a product that didn't filter into Modern. So Scoos almost immediately became a heavily played and valuable chase rare for Legacy. A lot of the Commander one-shot printed cards like this and later Trinity Nemesis did that. It was only later introduced into Modern in Magic 2014, like 3 or 4 years later. So Scoos is the card that wouldn't be playable 10 years ago in Jund. But it feels so much like a part of Jund and midrange now that I could not include it. And it actually gave us a fighting chance against some decks too. Another one. We've won the die roll again. I'm going to say good day, fellow boomer. Because we're on Modo, so everyone's a boomer here. Okay, our hand has a Lightning Bolt and a Huntmaster, and we can't possibly lose. We do have 2 creature lands as well. So maybe this isn't as bad as this is pretty fucking bad, honestly. We'll go Treetop Village. So that's untapped later. Godless Shrine from our opponent. Is it a Thoughtseize taking our only piece of action? No, it's an Esper Sentinel, which you can bolt next turn, so that's something. Oh wow, this is some actual affinity. This is a classic matchup over here, as long as it's not fucking hammer time. We're going to hold up our bolt. I mean, it's unlikely they can grow the Esper Sentinel at instant speed. Am I right? This is recorded live. I don't know if I'm going to fucking regret that. They have shocked in a Godless Shrine. They're going to go to combat and force us to bolt here. We're going to bolt here. Let's lightning bolt the Esper Sentinel. I'm going to pay 1 for its trigger. Always pay the 1, they tell me. I never pay the 1 in Commander. Fuck that. We take 1 from the Memnite going to 19. Esper Sentinel number 2. Hopefully we draw nothing but creatures from here on out. And a Cigar's Aid. This is literal hammer time. Okay, we have Abrupt Decay on the draw with a mana to spare, so we can pay. So if they try and stick this fucking hammer on an Esper Sentinel, well, actually, if it happens, then we probably... Oh, shit, we'll have to pay 10. I guess we can let them draw a card to kill the hammer, right? Right? I'm not too sure. Huntmaster might help here. So our Stoneforge Mystic is going to go get a hammer. Sure. Fuck, we're going to have to let them draw a card. They got a Colossus Hammer. If you don't know what a Colossus Hammer is this big bitch here. Into the red zone they come. They create the combat chain, as we'd say in Flesh and Blood land. No blocks. Where's the hammer gonna go, opponent? Where's the hammer gonna go? Trigger. Where's it gonna go? It's going on the Esper Sentinel. Now, we can pay to kill the Esper Sentinel here and not have them draw a card and strand the Colossus Hammer in play. But if they draw Pure Steel Paladin, they can re-equip it. Oh, I don't know what the fuck to kill. I guess we could have killed the Cigar's Aid with the Colossus Hammer on the stack as well as another option. I'm really unsure. Let's kill the Esper Sentinel because it's going to cost us cards. And we're going to pay 1 here as well. Always pay the 1 unless you're playing Commander, then don't fucking bother. We untap and we draw a Lightning Bolt, which I kind of want to hold up for if they try to equip a Colossus Hammer again. So I'm going to play the Raging Ravine tapped, hold up the Bolt, and play the Huntmaster next turn. Urza Saga ticks up. Inkmoth Nexai. They go attacking. I'm just going to take it. I think we need to hold the Bolt for the Inkmoth or Pure Steel Paladin. We draw a Liliana, which isn't terrible, but they are going to make an Urza Saga construct without a doubt. We fetch up a basic Swamp, pay some mana, keeping up Bolt, and we're just going to play a Huntmaster of the Fells. Gain 2 life and make a 2/2. I remember when this was like peak, like what the fuck value. And now it looks like dog shit compared to things like Uro. They have made a construct. Urza Saga, they generate some mana with, and they're going to go and get a... Well, they're going to get a colourless fucking golem. But they're going to go get a hammer here. And then the hammer's going to land on something. I'm surprised they didn't try to put it on the Inkmoth Nexus, if I'm completely honest. Now, them putting the hammer on the construct is a problem, I've just realised. Oh, they didn't do that. They made the mistake. So sometimes it is better to be lucky than it is to be good. The prismatic ending our wolf token, which I think is a perfectly reasonable trade, honestly. And then they're going to twat us for 4. It stops us double blocking, but I was never double blocking with the Huntmaster of the Fells, let's be real. They activate the Inkmoth just to grow the construct, so we take 5 here. We drew an Inquisition, which isn't great. I'm going to flip my Huntmaster this turn to make it into a 4/4 blocker, I think. No, I think... Ugh, I don't know. These are big fucking constructs. I think I check their hand with Inquisition. We take the Cigar de Zay, which is a bit of a shit take there. And then we go black, black, and red. Play a Liliana. Now, down ticking just gets rid of the Stoneforge Mystic, which isn't that great, but at least they have to attack the Lily here. This gains us a little bit of life. They have no cards in hand. If they just draw a land here, our Huntmaster definitely flips. They did just draw a land here, so we got to cast spells and flip our Huntmaster, which is great. However, I probably should have held onto one of the spells in my hand in order to reflip him. That's an interesting situation, because if they drew the land, like they did, and we flipped Huntmaster and killed the Stoneforge Mystic, that meant that Liliana killed one of the constructs. I think that was a punt. I think it was a punt that if I just thought a little bit longer about if they draw a land, how good it'd be. So the Inkmoth will kill Lily, and then 2 5/5s will come in. We're gonna go to 1 here. No, we're gonna go to 2, but we're gonna go to 1 because we're gonna fetch. They put Lurrus into hand. Now what we need to do is draw a Bloodbraid Elf. That's what we need to do. So Huntmaster of the Fells will flip, and it will shoot our opponent for 2, and one of their constructs for 2. We draw Liliana of the Veil, which gets rid of one of the constructs. Now, I guess there was an argument to... Yeah, there's definitely an argument there to upticking Liliana to get rid of the Lurrus, but then we were just dead on board. Or, well, not just dead on board. We'd have to block a construct and block... Or block both constructs and lose both our Treetop Village and the Ravager. Them playing this Lurrus and then playing a body will actually flip our Ravager. Because they even had a Bauble in hand that turn that they have the Lurrus. That's a pretty good draw for them. We animate Treetop Village and we're going to go to blocking duty on the construct and lose the Liliana. Bear in mind, they couldn't have Inkmothed us in the face because we're on 1, but Inkmoth only does infect damage. We transform back into Huntmaster, we gain 2 life and make a wolf, so we have 2 bodies. What do we draw? A Lightning Bolt. That's pretty good. I'm going to cast nothing and bolt their Lurrus in upkeep. So we flip the Huntmaster back into a Ravager. They draw a card off the Baubles. There's a chance that they double spell here. Shoot them, shoot the Lurrus. We are literally dead to a Pure Steel Paladin. Although I guess we could actually bolt the Inkmoth in response to the connection. What the fuck's the word? The equipping. That's the word I'm looking for. We put a wolf token in front of the construct, which allows our bolt to kill the construct. We take 1 infect. We play a Marsh Flats, and then we kill the construct. Get the fuck out of here, little robot boy. We drew a Bob that we cannot cast. That is just not an option. So we're going to make a Raging Ravine here and get in so it grows. I mean, next turn we can play the Dark Confidant to flip the Ravager, putting us to 5, which actually might allow us to at least take 1 flip from the Confidant. The problem is we might have to kill our own Confidant after that because it might kill us. They play a second Inkmoth Nexi. They didn't cast a spell last turn, which makes me think they drew double land last turn off of the Bauble plus the normal draw. They got 1 card left in hand. I think it's a land. That's my soul read. Although they are stopping to think for a little while. This is 8 to equip, by the way, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands. So we are going to have a Colossus Hammer situation very soon. No attacks from our opponent, obviously. Play a Tarmogoyf, play a Bob, which allows us to flip our Ravager next turn. Get into the red zone with our Ravager. Now they could double block with the Inkmoth here so that when it flips it dies, which does get it off the board, but then they lose both Inkmoth and they're very, very far away from just being able to equip that Colossus Hammer for 8. So I think that is not the correct thing to do. So they take 4 here and go to 2, and then it's going to flip, and then if no one casts any spells, it's going to flip and kill them. Now important, next turn they can equip to the Memnite, but they can't equip to the Inkmoth Nexi. They won't have the mana unless they draw a Pure Steel Paladin. We get a Huntmaster, we get a Wolf, we gain 2 life. Holy fuck, we got there. Boomer Jund, fucking boom. How the fuck are we winning games? I'll even take a 1-2 against Hammer. Our post-board game is actually really fucking good too. Double Finks, triple Fulminator Mage, an Engineered Explosives, a Golgari Charm, a Propticay, a Rakdos Charm, a Scavenging Ooze, 2 Grudges, and fuck it, we're going to put Thoughtseize and Extraction into our deck as well. Okay, I was a little bit over-eager. We're cutting Dark Confident Dismembers and Lilianas and the Jund Charm, so I'm going to cut Thoughtseizes down as well, because our life... What, is our life at premium? Nah, Thoughtseize is too good. I think Rakdos Charm isn't quite good enough. It can kill an artifact. I mean, actually, that's just pretty fucking good, actually. My gut tells me to cut the Huntmaster, but Huntmaster just took a fucking diarrhea dump on their lawn. And we want to repeat that diarrhea dumping. Do you know what? I don't think I need the Finks. They're not a traditional aggro deck. They're either lumping us for 20 or infecting us to death. I don't think... I guess 2 does matter. But, actually, no, 2 does matter, because that means you take 3 hits. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, we've got Inquisition, we've got Thoughtseize, we've got Ancient Grudge. This seems pretty good. Abrupt Decay as well. I'm into it. So, Springleaf Drum from our opponent. Here comes Huntmaster of the Fells to shit on someone's lawn. That said, we don't have the mana, so we're probably never casting it. We're going to Inquisition them. We find Stoneforge, Colossal Hammer, Sanctifier in Vec. Shit the bed. How do we even deal with that? Can we even deal with that? I don't think they can cast it next turn, because of the Urza Saga. So I guess we take Stoneforge Mystic and we kill the Sanctifier later. And by later, I mean we Thoughtseize it next turn. If they draw a second white source here and just play the Sanctifier, there's a body that we aren't probably dealing with ever. Which isn't great. I guess the wolves that we make off of this thing are green. So that's something. Urza's Saga from our opponent. Sigarda's A that they just drew. Shit the bed. And then a Soul Guide Lantern. And the next time they're planning to play a body and play a hammer onto it. If we kill the body, by kill the body, I mean Thoughtseize the body. That's the thing, right? Thoughtseize doesn't give a fuck if you got protection from black. Thoughtseize is there to like just eat your shit. We play a tapped red source after talking about eating shit again. We find a Colossus Hammer Sanctifier. The hammer is scary, but we have Abrupt Decay in hand. So we take the Sanctifier here, ripping their hand to shreds. Obviously, if they play a land next time, they're going to put Luris into their hand. Urza's Saga ticks up. If they don't play a land here, they're going to lose a land. Oh, bollocks, they found one. Do they put Luris in the hand, or are they going to make a construct? They're going to make a construct because it makes the Sigarda's Aid Colossus Hammer plan better. There we go. We drew another land, which is wonderful. We're going to shock ourselves here, and we're going to play a Tarmogoyf. Now, we've got a bolt, so if they make a golem on the end step, a construct, if you will, we just get to kill it with bolt. Now, if they make it in their turn, we don't, but then it can't attack, and we're fine with that. So here comes the construct. It's a 3th, and they have no creature lands they can activate here, so we're just going to bolt the construct. Now, I've just realised something here. They have a Springleaf Drum. Fuck. Fuck it. Shit on it. Bollocks. Okay, well, that's a 14-14. Soon to be a 15-15. Now, on the upside, we just block it with Goyf, and then Ancient Grudge it away, and move on with our lives. But it's still not great. Now, if they grab... Oh, shit. If they grab the Shadow Spear here, this has Trample, and that means we do take a lot of damage. We go to like 1 or 2 life, I believe. Oh, fuck! Oh, that's a 16-16. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. What do they draw? If it's another hammer, we're just dead. Is this a Stoneforge? Are they putting Luris into hand? Oh, they just have a removal spell. Okay, we lose. That was an absolute punt. I'd absolutely fucking blanked on the existence of Springleaf Drum on the battlefield that turn. Without the Springleaf Drum, what I did was categorically correct. If reality wasn't what it was. Fuck! Okay, we're on the play this time. We can win this, I think. I think our hand was actually really good last time, so... Okay, this is a hand with 1 singular Thoughtseize and no way to cast the Rakdos Charm. Interesting. We'll draw another land, I'm sure. I guess we do a turn 1 Thoughtseize here. Right, let's go have a look. They've mulliganed to 5, which is pretty neat when we got Thoughtseize. I guess we're just gonna go ahead. Oh god, this is rough. Do we take the Pure Steel Paladin or the Stoneforge Mystic? Guess... we take the Stoneforge Mystic. Pure Steel ain't so hot unless they have 3 artifacts. And they only have 1 in hand. So the opening turn is going to be turn 1. Sigarda's Aid if they drew it. Or Springleaf Drum if they didn't. They said a naughty word, then are you a naughty word? Which is interesting. I don't know what that means. Ingenious Smith. Also known as Delia Smith in these circles. And they get a Memnite off that? Yeah, they do. Their hand is Pure Steel Paladin on 1 unknown card. If they go Pure Steel and then the hammer, then we have to block with our Goyf. But if we don't, we're getting hit with these creatures anyway. So I think we just have to play the Tarmogoyf here. They play a land. So they've got Pure Steel on 1 of the cards. What's it going to be? They put Luris into hand. Interesting. They want the Stoneforge Mystic that's in their bin. Now, part of me wants to just fulminate this Godless Shrine. I hope they can never cast the Lurrus, but they have a Springleaf Drum, so that's a shit line. Play a Scavenging Ooze here, and we go to combat, we attack them. We're going to eat the Stoneforge Mystic in their turn, if they cast the Lurrus. Probably shouldn't attack my Swamp, honestly, so I can keep Golgari Charm up, but that's a whole different conversation. Or Rakdos Charm, for that matter. Rakdos Charm's pretty good. They play an Urza's Saga. Fucking hell. So there's a hammer for you. Play a Lurrus. And then we're just going to eat that Stoneforge Mystic. Here's the Pure Steel Paladin, and they can equip the hammer that they're going to get in a turn or so's time. So we want to either have Rakdos Charm up or have Fulminating Mage blow up the Saga. We're going to bolt the Lurrus now. Get it out of there. Attack with the Tarmogoyf for 4 here. They got a 10. If they draw a hammer and equip it, then we block with a Treetop Village. They have drawn the Colossus Hammer. Just naturally off the top. Didn't even have to crack the Silent Glaive they just played. Oh, fuck. If they equip it to the Memnite, we can kill it with Golgari Charm. They didn't. They equipped it to the Pure Steel Paladin, which makes a lot of sense. That is a 12-12. And they've got an Esper Sentinel. Okay. I think we take the 12 here, and then we get to blow up the Urza Saga with our Golgari Charm, because it destroys enchantments. And then we blow up the Colossus Hammer with our Rakdos Charm, and we're loving life. They're now going to equip the Colossus Hammer to the Sentinel, which is a shame, because it means they'll definitely get to draw a card. We can obviously Golgari Charm to kill both the Memnite and the Esper Sentinel here, but then we've got double Hammer to deal with. Or if we draw another land, we've got Fulminating Mage plus Rakdos Charm to deal with Hammer plus Saga. I think we just have to keep killing hammers, honestly. Like my mother used to say, always pay the one. But in the meantime, they are going to just, yeah, they're going to make a construct. Sure. How fucking big is it? Oh, it's really fucking big. I mean, our Goyf can block it, though, on the upside. We drew another land, which we can shock him. That takes us to 3, though. That's close to lethal, so that's probably a bad idea. They play a Memnite, which makes their construct now a 6-6. Delia Smith gets bigger. Crack their Silent Clearing. They play a second fucking hammer. Are you joking? How are they just naturally... They're not even tutoring for these fucking things. They're just drawing them. They draw a card off Pure Steel Paladin here. They put it on the Pure Steel Paladin. Okay. What else have they drawn? Oh my fucking god. Are you joking? So we lose the Lurrus here. And that means that our Goyf gets smaller. Fucking hell. We're going to have to eat that Lurrus now then. They have 7 creatures in play. Rakdos Charm actually does... almost kills them here, but it doesn't. There is no way that we get out of this. We can kill the Esper Sentinel to go our Tarmogoyf to have a profitable block against Ingenious Smith. But ultimately, our opponent just drawing the 3rd fucking Colossus Hammer. The 2nd Colossus Hammer in a row, actually, out of 4 cards. Well, I say that. Each Colossus Hammer drew them a card. So in 4 cards, they saw 2 hammers. That's just a really solid draw that we can't compete with. I guess we can kill the Sentinel, block the Construct, block the Paladin, and feel bad about life. They get to draw a card. Ooh, not good. Pay 11 generic mana. No, thank you. No fucking thank you. And then we eat the Esper Sentinel for a green. And we go block it, and we just lose everything here. Like, an Ancient Grudge doesn't get us fucking anywhere, because then we're still just dead. The Pure Steel Paladin died there, because they moved the Colossus Hammer. That was a dirt. But even now, with that misplay, we can only, like, Ancient Grudge this, and we still don't get there. Oh, so close. So close.
Another one.
We are on the play. We're going to keep this. We've got Thoughtseize into Tarmogoyf. Can't lose. I've probably got Gigantha in the command zone, which could mean fucking anything, really. Let's have a look at their hand. That'll give us some information. They are Tron. It means they are Tron. Tron they are. That means they are. Mine Tower in hand. All they need is a plant. Ah, shit on it.
5 minutes later.
They play a Tron land playing Ugin, which is weird. I guess they had multiple towers in hand. At this point, we're just dead. I have played this game poorly, and this matchup is bad even when you play it tightly. So that's a fucking shame.
Another one.
We haven't won the duel this time, but we have a lot of lands and bodies, so I'm going to give it a shot. It's not the most interactive hand, but it looks like I'm going to be against blue-white control or some form of Stoneblade. Our opponent's user icon is a Flumph, which is fucking wicked, and if you haven't seen it already, you should watch my video on Flumphs. It's the best video, it's the best Magic the Gathering video on Flumps you've ever seen. Whatever we're casting here looks like it's going to get counter spelled, so we're going to go ahead and just play a Scooze. Resolves. Interesting. Do they have counter magic or just cantrips in our end step? Kill spells, maybe? Path to Exile? I'll take a Path to Exile. Faithful Mending. Oh shit, this is not what I expected. Is this Reanimator? No, it appears just to be Faithful Mending in a blue-white control shell, if this Prismatic ending in this Teferi are anything to say go by. They play a Teferi Time Raveler. They bounce the Scooze back to our hand. We play a tap land, just replay our Scooze and pass back. We eat the Faithful Mending here. I would like to cast this Bloodbraid out, but with the uptick on the Teferi means we could have a Wrath in our future. And they cast it instead. So we're not going to get Wrath. They discard Island and Strand. I'm going to go to combat and attack the Teferi here. Do they have a 1 mana removal? Do they have Fatal Push or Path? Or do we get the Teferi? So we got the Teferi. That worked out pretty good. I'm not really too sad about that. We're going to play a Tarmogoyf. We play a tap, Treetop Village, and pass back. That was a reasonable turn. If they untap and Wrath us now and get a 2-for-1, I guess that's okay. But at this point, we don't commit anything else to the board. They cast Chalice of the Void on 1. This is, I don't know if I'm just really out of the fucking loop with Modern, but a Chalice deck playing Faithful Minion that's also a Teferi deck? What am I missing here? So we drew a Bolt, naturally, because I just played the Chalice. I feel like I do want to commit more to the board now. The fact that they're a Teferi Chalice deck, maybe they're not like a control deck with a Wrath, but I don't really fucking know, honestly. I decided to animate a Treetop Village here, and just get into the red zone, I think. Like, I don't think we have to commit anything else. They have a Kaya's Guile here, which allows them to gain full life and sacrifice a creature. I'm going to crack my Verdant Catacombs, grab a forest. I'm going to animate the other Treetop Village and just sack that off, so at least we get the damage through. Taking them down to 15. Are they just Esper controlled with Chalices? That's so fucking weird. I guess in a metagame where Deathrite, where Dragon Rage Channeler and Ragavan are a thing, maybe Chalice is stronger, so you move away from playing Paths and shit. I don't know, it's strange. I guess you don't really need Path at instant speed if you've got Prismatic Ending at sorcery speed, maybe. I'm not sure. They Prismatic Ending for 2 to exile our Tarmogoyf. They've got 4 mana up. Do they have Cryptic in their deck? I think I want to cast Bloodbraid Elf here, because we get the Cascade anyway. If we hit a 1-drop, though, it's pretty sad because of the Chalice. We hit Tarmogoyf, which is pretty good. They counterspell the Goyf, putting it in our bin, allow us to grow our Skoos this turn. We make a Bloodbraid Elf. We're going to go to combat and attack. We crack our Misty Rainforest. I'm going to shock in a fetch land here. I say a fetch land. It's called a shock land. What the fuck I'm talking about? Shock this in, make a green. We're going to eat this Tarmogoyf, which means we can hit them for 6 here, which is not negligible. Takes them to 9. Finish them off with Bolt if we draw an Abrupt Decay or a Maelstrom Pulse to kill this fucking Chalice of the Void. There is a Supreme Verdict, which we were kind of expecting. Hopefully our Raging Ravines and stuff can finish them off. We drew a Cliffs. Let's get in with Raging Ravine. This takes them to 4. They pass back with 2 cards in hand and a million mana opens. That's worrying. We animate a Raging Ravine and get into the red zone. I'm assuming they'll have something to stop this. It's going to be 5 damage to the face. A kill if they have nothing. 6 mana. Sharknado. Okay, that's a 4/4. That's a blocker. That's certainly something. In our second main, we're going to go shock another Shockland in. We make a Scavenging Ooze, so now we have 2 threats they need to deal with. A Supreme Verdict not being good at dealing with both of them. We drew a Maelstrom Pulse, so we're going to try pulsing this Chalice. There's an argument that maybe attacking with the Goyf, with Goyf Mark II would have been better here before pulsing, but they are countering, so we can't kill them with bolts now. I, for some reason, decided not to attack with Treetop Village here as well. We have got lethal with the Skoos if we eat the 2 bodies in our bin, but it means that we're soft to 1 removal spell. We eat the Scavenging Ooze, and we'll let that resolve in case they have Kaya's Guile to exile it. But we'll lose the body anyway, so it's largely irrelevant. We'll eat the Bloodbraid Elf as well. Now they do something. Kaya's Guile will be fucking shit here, and I really hope it's not Kaya's Guile, because we'll lose a body and lose our graveyard. Or we'll lose a body and they'll gain 4 life. It's a fucking Kaya's Guile. They make a 1/1 out of this. Okay. Well, we're going to crack our Flooded Foothills. Flooded Foothills? Oh, we'll get a Blood Crypt. We don't have another green source to, yeah, okay. Well, we're still getting life. I feel like we're still in the driver's seat, but we're on the cusp of them turning the corner. That's a very turn a corner kind of card. And they scooped it up, so I guess it didn't turn them much of a corner if they didn't have 2 lands in hand afterwards. We cut a load of removal and bring in, like, Thruns, a Singular Ancient Grudge, another Thoughtseize, a Surgical, a Rakdos Charm, that kind of, you know, your normal stuff, like Rakdos Charm. We're going to keep this. I think Dark Confidant will be absolutely gas in this matchup if we can stick one. We also drew an Abrupt Decay, which will be good at dealing with a Vial, so that our Thoughtseize and things are still useful, although I did trim most of my bolts, but we still have 1-drop spells in the deck. Chalice of the Void on 1 is perfectly good for us here. We're going to grab an Overgrown Tomb with this fetch land. We drew the Thoughtseize, of course, because, well, of course we did. We're going to go grab a basic forest with this fetch land and just slam a Bob and go from there. I do feel like they are like Esper control with some sort of reanimator package. So having a Skoos is good. Obviously we don't want it to get killed too early. This could be a Kaya's Guile here. Just a Teferi. Okay. They bounce Dark Confidant back to our hand. We have options here to kill the Chalice with Abrupt Decay and Thought Seize them, or kill the Teferi with Abrupt Decay, so we've got Rakdos Charm for the Chalice. I'm just going to resolve a Bob again, because it kind of puts us in the driver's seat, because they have to deal with it when it starts to draw us cards. They uptick Teferi. Kaya's Guile for us to sacrifice a creature, and they make a 1/1. Fine. We play another Bob, because like I said, I think it's going to be pretty good in this matchup. I stupidly, fucking really stupidly, kept mana up for Abrupt Decay and forgot about Rakdos Charm. That was fucking stupid. They play another Chalice of the Void on 1. We're not casting these spells anytime soon. We can't decay them in their turn anyway. Because this is a Teferi. And I've only just realised this. I don't know when I will stop forgetting this, as it's a card that I've played against probably hundreds of times at this point. I'm a fucking idiot. Should have cast the Scoos, really. We drew another land here. Part of me wants to decay the Chalice, the Teferi and attack, so the token and attack the Teferi, but if I have a Kaya's Guile, we'll look like a right idiot. Let's get rid of these Chalices. We're going to decay one, going to Rakdos Charm the other. I guess we should have played the Rakdos Charm first, because if they counter this now, we've just 2 for 1'd ourselves in essence. Fuck. I thought about that a bit more. I'm actually too busy, like, scratching this dry skin I've got on my finger. Is that gross for me to tell you all that? You're welcome. If we'd Rakdos Charmed first and they countered it, we could have just gone for the Teferi with the decay. And now they've cast an actual factual Shark Typhoon, which means you probably should bring Golgari Charm in, because our only main board answers to that is Maelstrom Pulse. We drew a Bloodbraid Elf, we cast the Bloodbraid Elf, and then we can't cast the Tarmogoyf because of the Teferi, you see? Oh, that's a yikes. I should have known that. Can't cast the Tarmogoyf. Okay, we've got a 3/2 haster though. We'll go into attacking the Teferi. They block with a 1/1 to keep the Teferi around. Oh, God. Misplaying into Teferi, Time Raveler, and PleasantKenobi. Can you name a more iconic duo? They return Dark Confidant to our hand. So we're not drawing another card off that there. They play a land and pass the turn back with 2 cards in hand. Fuck knows what else they've got. We untap and draw Surgical, which of course we can't use even to get information because of the Chalice of the Void. We attack Teferi with both creatures. Getting off the board is good for us. They're probably going to have something here to make a shark. They're just going to hard cycle? No, they went to tap a lot of fucking mana. God knows what for. Oh, it's just a Kaya's Guile plus Shark Typhoon to make it like a 17 for 1. This is like fucking, like they're getting pie and what are we getting? A sore face? I don't know where I was going with that one. Oh shit, it exiled the Bloodbraid Elf as well. So we don't even get to fucking kill both these things here because we have nothing in our bin. Fuck. I have punted this second game harder than I punted the games against Tron. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The Tron games were fucking dreadful. If I'd also ate the body in the bin before the Kaya's Wrath resolved, or Gaia, should I say, not Wrath, totally different card, then our Scoos would have killed the Shark token. Supreme Verdict here, and then all the creatures die. Drew a Tarmogoyf. Let's see if it can just be big enough to fight through some sharks for a while. We drew Liliana of the Veil, which is certainly a magic card. Each player discards a card. Let's tick her up. We attack Teferi Time Raveler here. Do they have a spell? They do not. They lose the Teferi. It looks like they've got nothing but lands in hand. They finally use their Castle Vantress, which should secure them at least one piece of action. As long as that action doesn't draw them a card, then we should still be in a good spot. Especially if they accidentally play the land that's in their hand next turn and leave Liliana just to take the card out of their hand and put it into the bin. Teferi Time Raveler makes them a shark and makes them a Teferi Time Raveler and draws them a card and bounces one of our things. That's the exact opposite of as long as it doesn't draw us a card. Fucking hell. Our lack of creature lands this game has been pretty brutal. We've drawn one now, though. We've drawn one now. We're going to play Tarmogoyf and see if it resolves. I'm going to tick up the Liliana. It means that the Shark token can come in to threaten her. But honestly, that would be okay if they draw nothing but a land here. Because then Tarmogoyf can kill the Teferi or just hit them in the face. They've got access to Vantress though, so it's unlikely that they draw a land here. I forgot about Castle Vantress. Even though they activated it last turn, alright? Fuck off. You're no better at Magic than I am. Everyone in the comment section is always like, oh, you made this mistake. I'm like, yeah, you would have made it too. You would have made it too. They attack Liliana. We untap and we draw Misty Rainforest, which is not the best. I'm going to cash in my Liliana to kill their Shark token. And they've got a Snapcaster Mage. Oh, imagine if I'd done the fucking destroying the fucking things properly. Let's go to game 3. Okay, our hand is pretty gas, honestly. We're going to lead with Thoughtseize. I was wondering about playing it on turn 2. They have mulligan to 6 here. There's a Chalice of the Void. We have so many non-1-drops left. And it's a very time ravel. I think we shoot the Wrath off there. Then taking a turn to play the Chalice is pretty good for us. Unless we just top deck all the 1-drops. But if we draw another 1-drop now, we can cast it. But I think I want to cast Bob before they can play Teferi to bounce it back. So we at least get 1 draw off of it. We draw a Pulse. Overgrown Tomb into Dark Confidant here. There's an argument to start threatening them with a Tarmogoyf. But I think just drawing a card is strong. Chalice of the Void on 1, as we expected. Draw a Liliana, which I got double black in case of, but the Treetop Village makes it a bit slow here. Play a Tarmogoyf, and we start beating face. They've now got to deal with the card advantage engine that is Dark Confidant and the big old chunky Goyf boy. Interestingly, they have no black mana in play. They play a Teferi. They bounce the Bob because they're more scared of the card advantage from the looks of things. We kill the Teferi, and then I guess we want to start threatening them with a Liliana. We're both going to discard a card, and I'm going to discard a Golgari Charm because it's just not good here. Now, it's fine if they had Verdict this turn to regenerate the Goyf. That was the other option. But if they Wrath the Goyf and we just get to play another body, I think we're okay with that. We drew another Liliana. We're going to go to combat attack for 4. Take them to 12. We're going to uptick Lily. We're going to discard our other Liliana of the Veil. Do you remember this was like... Goyf was always the most expensive card in Modern, right? But like, it was Goyf, Bob, and Lily. They were like the most expensive cards. It's crazy. I think Lily's still dearer than both of those now. I don't even know. It's hard to keep track. Time. Time is fleeting, right? Why would you spend all your time paying attention to the cost of Magic cards, I guess? Unless you're a Magic the Gathering content creator. I'm going to play a Kitchen Finks here because if they have a Wrath, it comes back and it can still threaten them. They could counter it here, but I doubt it. There we go. And this means if they Wrath, we can just play a Bob and then force them to answer that again. Nothing from them. They've got 2 cards in hand. What the hell could they have? We drew a Black Cleave Cliffs. Tick up Liliana. Discard the Cliffs. And now if they've got a Shark token to make, we can just Abrupt Decay it. They cycle the Shark Typhoon. They make a Shark. We decay the Shark. And that makes it Goyf even bigger. So we get to hit them for 8 because there's now an enchantment in the bin. They're now on 2, which means if they Wrath and we get the Kitchen Finks back afterwards, we get to slap them in the face with it. We get to do a really cool thing here where we get to tick up Liliana, so each player discards a card. And if they flash in something now, we can pulse it before combat. They crack their fetch. Is this going to be like a Gear Hulk or something? Kaya's Guile. So we're going to sacrifice a creature, exile all cards from each opponent's graveyard, make a 1/1, and gain 4 life. 4 life is a lot of life. So we lose the Kitchen Finks. It persists, but it's gone because of the exile. Now, interestingly, there's no creatures in the bin. So discarding this Fulminator Mage here, that grows the Goyf. And the Pulse also grows the Goyf because they don't have any sorceries in their bin. The Goyf's now at 6/7. Turns out that Goyf plus Liliana, they're magic cards that are still relatively good at killing people.
Another one.
We have won the die roll again. Looks like we're winning the die roll a lot. Maybe that's the only reason that the deck seems to be performing reasonably well in the hands of a fucking idiot like me. They've revealed Gigantha, so I think our opponent's on Tron. So I don't think we're going to get a very good fair shout, you know? Good luck and have fun. I said hello, question mark, because I was in the bathroom taking a piss. Sure. And so we're going to leave with the Verdant Catacombs with the plan of getting ourselves a Overgrown Tomb or a Stomping Ground. Probably an Overgrown Tomb. Wow. They're on one of those affinity things, but with Gigantha. Interesting. Slam a Tarmogoyf and pass the turn back. What better turn 2 play is there with Jund? I guess it's a Tarmogoyf after you've Thoughtseize them. That's a lot better. Treasure Vault from our opponent. Welding Jar from our opponent. Frogmite from our opponent. Galvanic Blast from our opponent. Okay. They're down to 3 cards in hand. Now Goyf is dead. We drew an Inquisition, which I'm going to go ahead and lead with here. I guess we kind of want to use Terminate, Abrupt Decay, and Lightning Bolt together. But I do like the idea of hitting something in their hand that they want to play next turn. Let's have a Ganders. 2 Sojourner's Companions. Whoop. Okay. And a Glimmer Void. So at the moment, playing the Glimmer Void allows them to play a Companion, because they'll then have affinity of 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring this 7 down to a 3, and they'll have 3 mana. So what I'm going to do is bolt the Frogmite. They can regenerate it with a Welding Jar if they want, but it will bring the affinity count down. There we go. So even though the Inquisition didn't get shit, it did help us with some understanding and some knowledge. If they draw a Treasure Vault here, they can still play a Sojourner. No, they play the Glimmer Void. They play the Springleaf Drum. No, fuck. That also allows them to play a Sojourner. Okay, there's the Sojourner. Shit. We drew another Decay, which whilst not terrible, isn't ideal. We could have done with a 4th land would have been ideal. Terminate the Sojourner and then like Abrupt Decay the Drum. And wow, that would have been good. They cast the Thought Monitor, which is a solid draw for them because it draws them 2 cards. And they play an Ornithopter and they play a free Companion. Oh no, they just got a Thought Cast as well. Fucking hell. And a Frogmite. they're going hot, shall we say. A Jun Charm off the top would be gas. There's an argument that if we had terminated the Sojourner, maybe that Thought Monitor would cost them 1 more mana and so on and so on. But we take 2 here going to 17. The Wolf would be great with a 4th land. A Jun Charm killing most of their board would also be pretty gas. That is not a Jun Charm. It is a pretty good blocker, though. They play another Ornithopter. They play a Nettlecyst, which is going to make one of these flyers really bad for us. But we can decay the Nettlecyst. That's something. We get in for 2. We draw Thoughtseize, which is literally useless right now. Is a sorcery for the bin, but we already have Inquisition in the... They attack with it. We're going to decay the Nettlecyst. They don't have a Spring-Leaf Drum anymore, because... Not Spring-Leaf Drum, sorry. A Welding Jar, because we got rid of that earlier. So that's something. We take another 2 in the air. They play a land, and they put the Gigantha into their hand. We drew a Jun Charm, which, honestly, I cannot complain about. There's an argument of Jun Charming early to turn off affinity for other creatures and shit, like if they drew another companion. But ultimately, I kind of want them to cast another thing into all this. I guess they couldn't cast Gigantha here without tapping an actual factual body. There's the Gigantha. Here's the Blast from the Past. Here's the Jun Charm. This kills a lot of bodies here. Okay, so we're left with a body. They got 2. We drew another land. Would you look at that? The problem we have here now is that Gigantha gives them access to a shit ton. Now, it can't be used on generic cost, so it's not gonna... Well, I'm still sure that if they drew a Nettlecyst, they could play it for 3 and equip it for 2. Memnite from our opponent. Okay. So they drew hot earlier, but this is the problem. Like, a lot of the cards at the top are just fucking bad. Bloodbraid Elf? What do I keep up? I'm going to keep up the Decay and flip my Huntmaster, I think. Because then we can flip it back again with the Memnite, with the Bloodbraid Elf. Thinking too far ahead here about flipping this and killing this. Get fucked, Memnite. They play a land, pass back. We drew a Liliana of the Veil. That's pretty good, but I'm going to Bloodbraid this turn. We hit an Inquisition of Kozilek, which is probably the worst thing to hit, but it still flips our Huntmaster, so we can't complain too much. I could attack with the Goyf, and they could double block, and then we trade 1 for 1, and then the Liliana is a bit more effective. But honestly, I think attacking with the Goyf is much better once we've resolved the Liliana next turn. We gain 2 life and make a wolf by flicking our Huntmaster again. Our opponent plays a Nettlecyst. Does Gigantha have Trample? Gigantha does not have Trample. If we drew a 5th Lamb, it's going to be Decay plus Liliana. If we don't, it's going to be Liliana. We drew Inquisition. In which case, we just pass back, let the Huntmaster flip again, ping them for 2, get some more value, and then we can just abrupt decay the Nettlecyst on the end step. It flips again, we shoot them in the face. I guess we shoot the Germ, maybe? Yeah, why not? Urza's Saga, which is going to make them multiple bodies. They attack with an 8-8, and we're going to decay the 8-8. Well, we're going to decay the equipment attached to the 8. We drew a Dark Confidant. We're going to go ahead and Liliana here. This allows us to down tick and get rid of one of their bodies. Allows us to attack, and we can use Inquisition to flip our Ravager again. In for 5, they take it down to 11, and then we just Inquisition them to flip the Ravager. Flippity flip flip. That's the technical. That's the sound it makes. When a werewolf transforms into a human, it shouts flippity flip. It's a bit like Pokemon. Urza Saga ticks up, so they can now make a body. They also got to cast a spell there, which is good for them, I guess. Good for you. We play Dark Confidant number 1. We play Dark Confidant number 2. We do not go attacking, we're just going to tick up, so each player discards a card. We discard our Thoughtseize. No attacking. They make a big old fucking construct, a 7/7, Jesus. I assume this Urza Saga is probably grabbing something that gives Trample, so I'm assuming Shadows. Yeah, there it is, Shadow Spear. So good. Lifelink and Trample, it's so good. These are 9/9s now as well, and they've probably drawn another artifact, I would assume. No, they're going to equip the Shadow Spear to the construct, which is now a 10/10. Cranial Plating, that's like the best possible top deck. What the fuck? And they equip it to the construct. Okay. Well. That's a 21/11. They went from having literally nothing to literally everything. What the actual fuck? So I'm going to block with 15 back end. Make sure it's enough power to kill it. 16 back end, 15 front end. We kill 1 construct with this. We lose a lot, though. We lose all of that stuff. Hopefully these bobs draw us good stuff, or we're in trouble. They're on 32. What the fuck? These bobs could also kill us, being the problem here. We drew a Goyf. We drew a Blood Crypt. We drew a Swamp. Wow. That could not have been worse. It could not have been worse. Are we just dead because we just drew 2 lands off of our 3 draws this turn? Fucking hell. We're going to make him sack a body. It's going to be the Memnite, obviously. Play a 7/8 Tarmogoyf. No attacks. We're just trying to stabilize here. And it's just, these mobs are going to kill us if the fucking construct carrying a cranial plating and Shadow Spear doesn't already. If they don't cast a spell, we flip the Huntmaster, but then we untap and don't get to cast 2 spells ourselves, so we can't flip it back. Just a 9-9. And obviously they've got instant speed equipped of the cranial plating to wherever the fuck they want. So, with that in mind, we're going to have to do some pretty creative blocking here, but I think we might just be dead. They put the plating on the construct. We go to 1, I believe. No, we go to 2. The construct is dead. They equip the plating here. I mean, Bloodbraid Elf would be gas here, because it'd flip our Huntmaster and everything. Bloodbraid into a removal spell being our best possible draw. Shoot them for 2. Also, Bolt does kill Gigantha. Nope. Okay, let's play a Blood Crypt tapped. Let's just pass back to our opponent who kills us because of Shadow Spear. We're dead. In all fairness, I think game 1 against them is probably pretty rough. I'm surprised we got to a point where we were stabilised. Maybe we could have been a bit more aggressive, but I don't think I was getting through enough to kill them before they had that ridiculous turn. Now, I've not brought Fulminator Mages in, but I've got a funny feeling they're probably playing Blink Moth, Ink Moth, and I should have done. Let's keep this. I'm going to die with Ink Moth Nexus now, aren't I? We'll have a good game, then die with Ink Moth Nexus. We're going to Thoughtseize them. Prismatic Ending, Nettle Cyst, Frogmite. Okay, well, we can play through the Prismatic Endings. We take the Nettle Cyst because we just don't want them to have the fucking payoffs to hit us with. I played the Stomping Ground, which was incorrect, because I now can't cast a turn 4 Bloodbraid Elf because both one of these Black Key Cliffs were coming to play untapped. That was just me not thinking. I was actually taking a sip of my fizzy pop. That's what happened there. Fucking Welding Jar into Jund. What is this all about, eh? I'm going to bolt the Frogmite now to get rid of the Welding Jar. Love to draw Liliana now, but I think I sided out only one of them. We did not draw Liliana. Pass back to our opponent. We should have a Bloodbraid next turn, but we don't because I'm a fucking idiot. Welding Jar number 2. They have 4 cards in hand, one of which is Glimmer Void, 2, well, Glimmer Void's hand. 3 cards in hand, 2 of which are Prismatic End. They put Gigantha into hand. Never punished. Never punished. We crack our Voting Catacombs. Cast Bloodbraid Elf. Cascade into Rakdos. We attempted to kill the Frogmite again, which will get rid of this second Welding Jar. Attack them for 3. They play a Darksteel Citadel, attack us for 2 and pass back. We draw a Jund Charm. I guess we're going to put some counters on our Bloodbraid Elf to make it able to block this Frogmite. Because we can't just try and race them, because they're just going to draw a Cranial Plating and fucking murder us. Springleaf Drum from our opponent. Galvanic Blast our... Ugh, that's 4 damage. So Jund Charm does not even save. We Jund Charm it away, draw Verdant Catacombs. Say piss and pass back to our opponent. On the upside, they can't play Gigantha unless they draw a land or a 0-cost creature. They drew and played in Cranial Plating. And we're just going to fuck that off right now. I'm not even letting that be a thing we have to consider later on. Just get it off the board. We drew a Terminate, which is good against Gigantha. And the EE we've got is good against other bits. We don't want to obviously play out early in case they kill it with Prismatic Ending. They have 4 cards in hand, 2 of which are removal spells. 1 is Gigantha, and fuck knows what the 4th one is. Probably a removal spell, maybe Galvanic Blasters. Treetop Village, and pass the turn. Having a creature land is good. It means we can actually pressure them in some fucking capacity at some point. They play an Urza's Saga. Game over, man. This one land is just going to absolutely ruin us. It's going to make so many fucking bodies. Urza's Saga is a dumb magic card. We're going to Stomping Ground. Oh, Gingerbrew. Okay, let's kill this. EE does kill the tokens made by an Urza's Saga, so there is that. We drew another land. Cool. At least a Treetop Village can like force them to have to spend mana on the Gingerbrew, otherwise lose it to the block. Maybe they'll miss that. Maybe they'll miss attacking into the Treetop Village. It's just a thing that people don't play anymore. They make a construct. They play an Etched Champion that we cannot kill. That is a very good way of beating Jund back in the day. This is a card I haven't seen in a long fucking time. This is this art too, which reminds you of Modern Masters 2. Good times. No attacks. I'm going to cast this for 0. They're going to make a construct now. They can't cast Prismatic Ending here. So if they made a construct, they lose the construct to our Engineering Explosives. Oh, GG. Oh, that is something that hasn't happened to me yet. So we let the trigger from the Urza Saga resolve, because whilst on the stat, they couldn't use Prismatic Ending to finish off my Engineered Explosives, and they just grabbed a needle and named Engineered Explosives. And that was something I should have seen coming, but I didn't. So that's that. We take 4 here going to 7. Wowza. Wowza. We can still draw a decay for this, but we're pretty dead. We can shrink this construct token with our Dismember for 3 mana, and then block it with the Village. If they play 1 more artifact, it's bad for us. There's the Prismatic Ending to get rid of the EE, so they don't have a problem with the... Okay, no more artifacts. The other card in hand is a Prismatic Ending. Gingerbrew can't be blocked except for things with haste, so that's something. I'm going to take 3 here, because we're going to make a Treetop Village, shoot this for -5/-5, block it and kill it, The needle play was good. The needle play was good. I should have seen it coming. We drew Blood Elf was probably one of our best draws here. We cast it. What do we hit? Ancient Grudge. Okay, well, we can cast that. Blob, the Ginger Brute, I guess. There we go. That's something. And then we've got an Ancient Grudge in our bin to fire off to kill things. But the problem is we're dead in 2 turns to the ex-champion. We'll hit them for 3 here. Maybe there's an argument to hitting them with the Treetop Village as well, just to try and race them in some capacity. Like, if we're going to gain life next time. A Scooze would be amazing for gaining life, as would a Huntmaster of the Fells. They play a Springleaf Drum. They get in for 2. We need a Scooze, or we need a Huntmaster of the Fells. We drew a Tarmogoyf, which is so close to what we need, but yet so far away. We're not a million miles off killing our opponent here. We play a Goyf. We can get in for 6, taking them to 8, and then we die to ex-champion because we can't turn off Metalwork. Some of you might be thinking, but there's only 4 artifacts. Surely there was something you could do. No, there's Darksteel Citadels, right? So yeah, close, but no cigar. A Scooze at any point in this game, a Huntmaster of the Fells at any point in this game. Did I shock myself at some point when I shouldn't have? No. I guess, I don't know. That's probably something I could have done, but yeah, interesting. That's it. That's the video. We went 2-3. I was hoping for a better record than that because the deck started out feeling pretty powerful. We only went 2-3. Tron was like a non-game. I punted really hard on Tron as well, but that didn't help. That game there, I think, was winnable, probably, with a better mulliganing and a slightly better draw. I think someone who knows what they're doing can still do work with this deck. I still think this deck is reasonable. I just think that I played it like shit in a couple of the matches. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.